The NFL is getting some blowback. We'll get even more blowback because the NFL has announced that it's going to have 2 games on Christmas Day. The screaming sound you hear, of course, is going to be the NBA that thought that we kind of owned Christmas Day for ourselves and we were going to always get big numbers, and the NFL comes along and blows it out of the water. So they're now going to have 2 games on Christmas Day. And you're thinking, well, what's the big deal with that, Jeff? Well, the big deal is generates easily $30 million per game. Nothing can come close to it. The NFL, outside of the porn business, is the biggest and best content provider you can think of. Everything it's doing is working. Everything it touches is gold. So businesses often make the mistake of growing too fast, expanding too quickly, getting greedy, and then getting over their skis. Fairly common problem. Plenty of people have been through it. Plenty of people have made the mistake. It's, at some level, it's understandable that when you have success, you're going to extend it too far, and then you lose your way. You know what? The NFL is an example of not expanding enough. I know it's going to sound crazy, but let me make the argument that it's just the opposite of what a lot of businesses make the mistake in doing, and that is getting too greedy, too fast, and then losing focus, losing the audience, not the NFL. It should do more. Let me walk you through all the things that I think the NFL probably should be doing, and one of them is coming to Austin, Texas. But hang on. The NFL shouldn't just play 2 games on Christmas Day. The NFL should play 3 games on Christmas Day. They're a perfect example. The NFL is not even growing fast enough. Yeah, play 3 on Christmas Day. That's 100 million people watching in one day. And they'll do it, and they could do it easily. And there's going to get blowback. They're going to say, well, you're terrible, you're the devil, I'm never going to watch again, Kaepernick this, Kaepernick that, blah, blah, blah. And then every game will generate an audience of 30 million plus. There'll be more bets, there'll be more fantasy nerds, and it'll be a huge hit. Play 3 games on Christmas Day. The NFL has been at 32 teams for quite some time. They should expand. There should be more. I'm not kidding. There should be more. The NFL, I'm surprised, to be honest. I think the NFL has been sort of timid. It's such a successful business that is so good at what it's doing. It's at its peak right now. And I could argue while a lot of businesses may not even hit their peak and they expand too fast, I think the NFL is expanding too slowly. Yeah, people are going to criticize playing 2 games on Christmas Day. I'm suggesting 3. People are going to criticize the NFL for playing overseas. I'm going to say you're not doing it enough. And I'm talking about the business here. They're playing a game in Brazil. Oh, people are flipping out. Oh, that's terrible. This is the American game. What are you even thinking? What do you mean? They should be doing more of it. Selling more stuff, generating a bigger audience. I mean, they know what the business is. I'm telling you, it's not expanding quickly enough. It's not doing enough. The business is pretty clear. It's not complicated. You generate an audience that appeals to advertisers. You generate an audience that gets subscribers. They've mastered both. Mastered both. Unlike any content provider you can think of. In a world of content and world of delivery where it gets complicated and is difficult, the NFL has mastered all of it in the way it delivers. And yet we're still running around criticizing it, but everything they're doing is gold. And then the owners and the players, I'm surprised, aren't wanting to expand more because the audience gets bigger, the ad market gets bigger, subscriber base gets bigger. They all make more money. The salary cap, which is a function of revenues, I believe it's 66.6% of designated revenues to be precise. The salary cap went up $30 million this year. I'm telling you, it could go 60 or 90 million in 2 years if they would expand more. What they should say, I'm really surprised. As greedy as the 32 men are that run that business, as much as they're the most powerful cartel in the world, this is an example of them shockingly not being more aggressive. I would say greedy, but I think it's just aggressive. more teams, more markets, more games. Everyone makes more money. I think it's pretty clear. I think it all works. It's so funny because the talk show banter is, oh, you're doing too much. Oh, you're expanding too much. Oh, you're watering down the product. Yet the audience keeps coming back more and more and more. The NFL timed everything perfectly, COVID or not. And that is when the Supreme Court allowed states to decide on gambling in 38 states, not named the state of Texas, which is, in the 1800s or something. But when 38 states decided to expand, it helped the NFL business. Fantasy comes along, it helps fantasy football. Comes along, it helps the NFL business. The NFL's delivery of the product is better than before. They're now putting it up on streaming platforms. Everything they're doing content-wise is smart, except not enough. Not enough. Play 3 on Christmas Day. Heck, I don't know, maybe play 4 at some point. Play in more international markets, even though you pretend that it makes you angry. No, it doesn't. You're going to sit on your couch at 10 in the morning and watch it. It's too good. And then the crazy part that I think a lot of people would argue, and more teams, more markets, more teams. For a long time, I thought, because Austin is going to be first up, Austin, San Antonio, this whole quarter is going to be first up. It's been at 32 teams for a while. And there's no indicator that says there's any reason not to expand. In fact, every indicator is there's every reason to expand. More teams, more games, more money. We want more. Let's not pretend otherwise. And I'm surprised they're not more aggressive. So, yeah, first up would be Austin, San Antonio. The New Braunfels fill in the blanks. For a long time, I thought, because Austin's going to be mentioned, Kansas City Chiefs are threatening to leave Kansas City. They're gonna beat those people up for a new stadium. Those people are going to be foolish enough to give the Chiefs ownership group a new stadium. At some point along the way, if it looks like the vote may or may not go their way, in the end it will. Taxpayers will give them whatever they want. Austin's going to be mentioned. And I'm arguing now that not only should Austin not just be mentioned, there should be an expansion team. I'm not talking about moving franchises here. I'm talking about the NFL adding 2 more franchises. I'm not even sure 2 is where you should stop. But I do it, and I do it pretty quickly. I don't even think, and here's why people are going to say every time that Austin and San Antonio and all the, this corridor is mentioned, and I've been quick to do this, there's no way that Jerry Jones would let it happen. There's no way the goofy ownership group of the Texans would ever let it happen. I'm not sure I believe that completely anymore, because I could sit here and make an argument, and I think those old men could too, that an argument means more markets, more viewers, more money. It's not going to be less for them. It's going to be more for them. I think more of everything for the NFL makes everybody more money, and it makes the audience happy. An NBA game has no chance. A college game has no chance. Nothing else has a chance up against the NFL. Any day of the week, any time, any platform, doesn't matter. We're watching. And I now think that it makes perfect sense. Austin will not build a stadium. Now, don't get me wrong. I think the taxpayers of Austin are smarter than that and don't really need it that badly. But I do think the market makes sense and there needs to be expansion, and I'm surprised they're not doing it faster. And yeah, I think it makes everyone more money, including the old man that owns the Cowboys. I used to think he would block it with his life, but I don't think that's the case. Even he can add up viewership numbers. Even he can add up more teams, more playoffs, more dollars. It makes sense. I don't know where the other one goes. I don't know. Maybe another team in California. I don't know. Maybe another team in New York. Another crappy team in New York. I don't know. I'm not even sure anybody knows exactly what else would be as good. Maybe 2 in Arizona. I'm not sure. But it does make perfect sense. It does. And I don't think the old man that owns the Cowboys, nor the ownership group of the Texans would fight it. And I don't think they should. What's the takeaway? Play more on Christmas Day. Do. You're going to get called names. people are still going to show up and watch, no doubt. Expand to more markets, including the Austin area. And it'll work. And they'll all make more money at it. The NFL, oddly enough, as smart as it is, as progressive as it is, as aggressive as it is, has been far too slow to get bigger. I can't believe the announcement this week was only to have 2 games on Christmas Day. It should have been 3. They should kick off at 10, play the entire day, and we'll all watch. 100 million people would tune in easily. One of the few businesses, probably one of the few times that somebody would say, don't expand too fast. This is an example of expanding far too slow.